Superfund Sites by Tessa Warden. Have you ever heard of a Superfund site? Superfund site is typically a mining area that has become environmentally hazardous after extraction of its minerals and metals. It's called Superfund because it will take a super amount of funding and sometimes several decades to remediate the area. E.P.A, which stands for Environmental Protection Agency, is the governing body in charge of evaluating, monitoring, and enforcing the cleanup process for Superfund sites. Currently, the E.P.A has roughly 150 Superfund sites on their national priorities list solely related to mining. I had heard about the Berkeley pit mine in Butte, Montana. This now closed copper mine contains water so acidic fish and wildlife cannot survive. It's contaminated with heavy metals and arsenic. This environmental catastrophe threatens the groundwater, thus the safety for the town of Butte. Then I learned about a Superfund site closer to my hometown, located in Northern California. Not far from Shasta Lake, it's just a few miles northwest of Redding, California. It's called the Iron Mountain Mine. This Superfund site is a 200-year-old mine that has produced iron, silver, gold, copper, zinc, and pyrite. Plans for remediation are extensive and complicated. It starts with constructing a network of runoff water control pipes, canals, and collection pools or reservoirs, such as these water treatment pools and the Spring Creek Reservoir. Control of the water drainages help to prevent this runoff from contaminating the bigger creeks, rivers, and aquifers that affect the groundwater. Contaminated water is the result of A.M.D, which stands for acid mine drainage. A.M.D occurs when sulfides, minerals that contain sulfur, are exposed to air and water. This acid water then becomes part of the runoff water system when it rains. Investigators found that the A.M.D there is so acidic that it dissolved the head of a metal shovel. Heavy metals that have leached into the tributaries and runoff streams inevitably lead to the Sacramento River. The Sacramento River is the main river that carries fresh water through the valley in the northern half of California. Prior to the Iron Mountain treatment plant, the Spring Creek Reservoir held contaminated and acidic runoff water from the mine. Once the contaminated runoff water has been routed to the treatment areas, actions are taken to try and neutralize the acidity. The hope is to protect the groundwater for nearby towns like Keswick. The most distressing part is that all the water control tactics implemented is far from a quick fix. This project will be under maintenance from decades to lifetimes before nature will finally be able to bring things back to a neutral balance. As society becomes more dependent on the mining of minerals and ore for metals, we have to consider these kinds of environmental impacts in order to make good choices about mining in the future.